Charge 4.
I'm gonna go slow.
Right now, they're going anytime loose. Hold in and find out if they found anything. If they don't, you might be able to move them to another area.
Well, just keep shooting. If I go too fast?
No, it's fine.
219.
And they report a lot of damage and possibly no injuries at this time.
And we have not found any injuries.
At 10-4 Chief, if you need to 10 times with them, could you go to B channel to talk with them?
3 acres now, no, not yet. Is it near guns?
And there's a hip injury, which the lady felt. That's it, well.
Is it right this way?
6. For Florida police, you got to help make this mess back. Oh, it's real fast, too. But they have some injuries there. Yeah, so I heard that on the radio, on the commercial radio and on the station radio. Yeah. Yeah. They'll go ahead. City's called, they're going to meet our system. I just notified Sheriff Butler. He said for you to start getting. 111?
Well, go ahead.
If you get a fire truck for you and send them out here, there's cars in the hood by there. We need somebody to help us get the hood open. 10-4 Jack, where are you? In Fieldcrest 111. Hang in, just off.
Did you copy that at Fieldcrest, the gas truck?
That's 10-4, it does. Come on out to Fieldcrest and bring, okay, yeah.
I'm doing it right now.
Highway at South Central Bell office reported smoke coming out of the building. Engine 11 responded to Atlanta Highway reported smoke coming out of the building.
Roll right there, and you might get them get 30. We
gotta go, Paul.
10-4, we also need more men in Green Acres.
All right. Hey, switch to 2 and then another 2. Hey, thanks. Okay,
Okay, go ahead.
Temple, we'll take these locations quick as you can get someone, if you got any traffic personnel, can relieve my 107 on Vaughn Road. Pictures and seams and Lyle and seams, this is a work to get it. And you can give this to the, Unit 8, 1 and 2 and whoever.
Go ahead.
Okay, thanks. Who's the one we talking? 135.
135.
I don't know if there's anything on these, but we got a lot of lines down, and these people out here own these homes. We'll say that.
South 10-4, we've advised that
136.
You can get the construction
136.
anytime.
10-5, 136.
10-4. 7-3. Nancy and Shannon and Court Law, who up now? Nancy, Shannon, and Lane.
I'm gonna park up here and get out of here.
Hang on, Lisa.
Talk to them on phone, give them to you, George.
Okay.
And we're trying to get by that call anybody else out.
Oh, that's not a place.
Can I
Yeah,
get
well, I
in?
think this will be a little problem.
Can I get out?
Okay.
Yeah,
I
get
got
that girl going.
Okay.
Going. I'm telling.
Chief, looking over the Green Acres area, what do you see as a whole?
We have quite a bit of structural damage, property damage, but no injuries, personal injuries so far.
Is there any reason for that?
None that I can see. Everybody was lucky.
You think that on the whole, the sirens that were sounded, the alarms went off early?
I feel that helped, and also in the lower part of Green Acres here, there's a lot of vacant houses down there. This gentleman here was at the house here when it went off, and you can see what the damage is to his house.
Okay, that's fine. Do you have every city out?
No, I can't tell you how many's out, but we had quite a few on this east side.
Do you know about injuries anywhere else?
There was some reports of injuries on Carmichael Road and in Gunner Park.
Any serious injuries at all?
Apparently they weren't serious.
Maybe, we could talk as far as, what your feelings were. Did you hear a loud roar? Did you know that warnings were up?
I heard the siren warnings. We'd been outside maybe 5 minutes before just looking at, and there was nothing. And we're inside and heard the noise start, and I knew what it was, or I suspected what it was. The wife was back at the bathroom and with the youngest child, and I was looking. I came all the way up to the front door here looking for the other child, and it hit, bright flash of light, and then the wind and everything, and then nothing, and nobody was hurt, thank God.
How much damage would you say is done to your house?
Well, it's I would guess the house is probably a total loss. We didn't lose that much of our personal belongings, I don't think, at this time, but who knows? The truck's obviously probably a total loss.
But what are you thankful for?
Be alive right now. That's it.
We're punched up. Try to get alive. Chief, any idea where the tornado's path touched down and where it went?
Well, the best we know right now, it's in this Fieldcrest apartment complex behind me. We also, in Green Acres, we've had several houses demolished out there. Best back out in Gunner Park has been hit extensively, but thank goodness that we don't have but 4 injuries so far. 2 of them was in an automobile here that turned over during the peak of the storm.
Any idea why there were such few injuries?
No, I can't answer that other than it was mainly the roofs that were blown off and windows that were blown out. And I'm surprised that we didn't have more folks cut with glass, but we didn't.
How about the warning system? It was in effect at the time.
The warning system did go off, and I think this is a big credit toward the small amount of injuries we had.
How about the manpower force? Is every available officer out working?
Every officer we've got's here. And we just ask that the people don't come to these places because they don't have any injuries out here. We're taking care of the people here. The Red Cross is on the scene, and we're going to house anybody that needs housing, and we're going to take care of whatever their needs are the best we can tonight.
Okay. You say most of the credit to the warning system?
Yeah, I think so. I think
you
so.
think most of the people were aware of it?
I'm sure they were. It's it's different than it would be at midnight, when nobody might hear it.
Is going to be pretty ridiculous from here. I mean, yeah, because of our condition.
Go ahead. Or, you can do it, or somebody come back to the station with some tape to, hang on just a second, I'll be right back.
As if we were mere stenographers. Well, reporting is not stenography. Quite simply, reporting is the best obtainable version of the truth. And that applies to the coverage of the White House, to sports, to legislatures, to universities, to city halls, to the Congress, the best obtainable version of the truth. Yet, despite all the post-Watergate self-congratulation in the press, the really significant trends in journalism over the past few years have not been toward a more serious, thoughtful, truthful body of reporting. There hasn't been any great new commitment of money and journalistic resources aimed at wholesale improvement of the quality of news reporting. Rather, the three truly important and significant trends since Watergate have been a kind of neo-journalistic exercise. First, there's been the elevation of gossip and celebrity journalism, pages and pages of personality items and news in our newspapers and magazines and on television. Television gossip, literary gossip, movie gossip, even gossip about reporters. Then there's been the conferring of respectability by the broadcasting industry, or certainly by segments of it, on checkbook journalism, paying the subjects of news to appear on television. The spectacle of an ex-Secretary of State who repeatedly lied to the Congress and to the American people, not to speak of to the press, now being paid $1 million by one of the networks to discuss his years in public office, and in effect allowing him a role in selecting what it is that appears on the air about him. An outrage, it seems to me, has nothing to do with a more serious and thoughtful body of reporting. It has nothing to do with the best obtainable version of the truth. And then the third trend that we've seen, I think, has been what you might call the Cuisinarting of American journalism. Whole sections of our newspapers and magazines devoted to a kind of rampant, rapacious consumerism, to consumption, to what we eat, to the couches we sit on, to how we decorate our houses. A whole section only 2 weeks ago in the Sunday New York Times, the big past few years, have gotten a little bit confused. So, in place of a commitment after Watergate to more serious, thoughtful reporting, instead we've seen this rise of neo-journalism, of checkbook journalism, of celebrity journalism, of consumptive journalism. And none of it need be too concerned with the truth, because the subjects of it are much more interested in promoting to the Rona Barretts and to the Susies and to the page sixes in the New York Post by our own failure to responsibly report on the lives inhabited by real people with real strengths and passions and character was almost exactly the opposite of what we were writing at the time, that the private realities, and long before the Nixon administration, we had the lessons of Vietnam and official lying and deception, and for the most part we ignored it. And before, we had assertions by blacks and radicals of harassment by the government, that they were under surveillance, even that their houses and offices were being broken into. Serious inquiries about what the hell our government was doing. And even then, we had some 14 out of more than 2,000 reporters